Hello and welcome to Waterproofing Wisdom. My name is Ben and I'm Technical Director here at CLW. And today I wanted to talk about when to pay for waterproofing design. And I guess my starting point would be you will end up paying. And that could be paying somebody like ourselves from Reba Stage 2. That's obviously an expense up front, and sometimes you're expending money before you've even got planning. And so a lot of people would like to avoid that. And another option is that you might lump in the waterproofing design within the architect or engineer's scope. And frequently the architect or engineer would go out to a product supplier and get some free input. And most projects we work on end up being procured through design and build. So ultimately, you can do a kind of conceptual design and push it to the contractor. I guess the issue there is that you incur the cost through a risk fee, or it's some other cost. Contractors are not foolish; they understand the risk, and therefore are going to pass on that cost to the client. And I think what's important here is if we acknowledge that even the free waterproofing design options cost, then it's important to consider, well, what do I get for my money? How much does it cost and what do I get for my money? I think there are two really big risks that I've come across when we see waterproofing design by stealth, or sort of the ostrich approach of don't really want another consultant on the team. I don't want to incur more consultant fees. It's going to be design and build anyway. Let's just push it to the contractor. And I think the obvious one is the first one, which is poor design. So currently, I'm an expert on a case where the main contractors had to pay out 400 and something thousand pounds. They handed over the basement, it leaked, there was loss of earnings from rental income, all of that stuff, and the main contractor is now going to the supply chain trying to recoup that cost. But that's not fun for anyone. So there is a really obvious risk where if you pay very little for a waterproofing design, it's often badly coordinated, badly put together, and the cost of poor design can be very considerable. The other is when the designer exploits their position. So frequently you'd get a waterproofing supplier who either for free or at very low cost will design a waterproofing solution in partnership with the architect, but they normally don't coordinate anything, and it's often very weak design without much thought. But in that situation, what you can see is that the designer is exploiting their position because they have sales targets. And so we had a situation recently where the cost manager that we're on a project with gave us a call and said, the contractor's asking us or saying they need to do this. That doesn't really match with your waterproofing design. What's the situation? And we were able to help explain, look, we don't need to do waterproofing there. That's irrelevant. And we saved our client nearly £500,000 on that. And so you can, if we just try and hide from waterproofing design, there are costs that we don't notice that can really add up. Are there any exceptions? Well, sort of. And I guess I just wanted to point out, look, if you're doing a residential basement conversion or something like that, and you just want your utility space in the basement, you probably are better going to direct to a specialist waterproofing contractor who can design and install and guarantee their work. And in that situation, I recommend you visit the Property Care Association. All of their contractor members are audited. They're in good financial standing. They have access to guarantees. They have insurance. They're competent. So there's my quick take on basement waterproofing design and when to pay for it and how. If there's anything that we can do for you, do give us a call, and we'd love to connect. Thank you very much.